What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Black Mental Health Podcast. I'm your host, Reg. Joined today with me is a very, very special guest. This was me and my stepbrother, one of our protectors when we was young, man. Nobody messed with us because we had our big cousins always protecting us. So they always looked out and they showed us, navigated us through the streets. Man, I heard so many stories. Y'all might get some of them today if he feel like sharing. And I'm gonna let you introduce yourself because I don't know what you go by. I know the rapper, man, and so I know the rapper, the big cuz, whatever you want to go by.
Well, my name is Kenneth Sikes Jr. You know me, Booby. Mm-hmm. That's my family name. The streets call me D. Lou. Mm-hmm. But now, cause God was dealing with me on something, so I'm just going by my real name, and that's just a whole nother story of revelation. In the Bible. I preach, what I'm saying? But in the Bible, anytime God would take a man and take him to the next level of his life, people like Abraham, people like Jacob, people like Paul, he changed their name over as a sign for whatever reason. So, D. Lou, of course, is my mom's name, rest in peace. But it's something that God showed me actually this past week. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he was telling me, like, as a sign, I had to let that go because I was trying to keep a name alive, but in fact, me calling myself D. Lou, I was holding on to it, and that was a root issue for a lot of my problems, holding on to my mom. So it's not me letting go and forgetting her, but it's me taking that burden away from me, you know what I'm saying? So now it's just, it's Kenny, you know what I'm saying?
All right, well, I'll call you Kenny even though it don't feel comfortable, man. I know Booby.
I know.
Hey, but everybody don't know me as Junior either, so.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so I'm Reginald right now, man. Everybody usually is Junior.
I'm glad you said that, because I was about to call you Junior.
But the significance of your name, man, I guess we can get right into it. Aunt Dorothy, man, I remember her when I was young, man, and I know the reason why you picked that name is because of your mom, and just talk about that situation and your relationship with your mom and the things that happened throughout your life that impacted you.
Man, relationship with my mom was like, we was close. Like most men, black men, I can speak for the community that I know, we were always mama's boys, you know what I'm saying? Pops was the tough one. Oh, my bad. That was my phone. I don't know what happened. I don't know what that was.
Go ahead.
You see me too?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, yeah, so I was a mama's boy. She's the reason why I'm a man of God to this day. Mm-hmm. Growing up in Philly, you know how life in Philly is, and she ended up getting robbed in West Philly. Mm-hmm. And Kevin, all of them, they was ready to ride behind that. She ended up getting robbed in West Philly. I remember it. And that's when she came to God, you know what I'm saying? So I got my ways from my mom, my fire, my toughness. My pops was tough too, but I learned so much from my mom. Like, I remember having Bible studies with her, but she ended up getting robbed in West Philly. It was like 95, 96. And that was kind of led us down here to Texas, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of it had to do, Philly's a rough environment, you know what I'm saying? And they wanted to get away from that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I would have to talk to my dad more, but I think I remember hearing that before, like, a lot of people, a lot of our family members and stuff, out of 10, you're going to, in them environments, you're going to be in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Right. So, even though I end up coming to the streets anyway, but a lot of me coming to the streets now is because, she died. She died when I was 15, 2002. And that affected me because I literally found her. I'm Bunny. It's funny. This interview going to be funny. I ain't never did an interview with a family member. You know what I'm saying? I'm Bunny is the one who really found her first. And I went to the bathroom, tried to give her CPR. You know what I'm saying? And but she ended up passing. Mm. So my life, everything that I've been through, the good, the bad, it all for some reason it was surrounded around my mom. You know what I'm saying? Even me coming to Christ now, because she got saved first. She gave her life to the Lord. And I went from hearing my mom, as you remember her cussing folks out, drinking, getting high, to I seen her be like this and then give her life to Christ. And the next minute I see her praying and worshiping God. So that draw me in. You know what I'm saying? I was raised in Philly where all the family members, they got high, drunk, fight, and then go to Texas, and my whole life just turned. So all that started with my mom, bro. And even as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, dang, I came to God because of my mom. I turned to the streets because she died and then because of my mom. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I was rapping, and I started rapping professionally. Been rapping since forever. And I went by the name K Ace, and the producer, the guy who really taught me, you could say artist development type thing, he was like, what does that mean? Does that have any meaning? And I was like, no, my homies call me K Ace. He said, and I'm still in high school, he said, you need to change your name to something more meaningful. So I remember sitting in class, and I was playing with names, and I said, I started thinking about my mom. Her first name Dorothy, middle name Lou, so that's when I turned my name to D. Lou. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You was in the streets early on.
Yeah, I jumped off the porch in Philly, actually.
Right.
My mom died in 2002. I moved, I was 15. I moved back to Philly that summer. I think y'all was not too far from us. That's back when Spacey stayed on Gilham.
Yeah.
I moved that summer, and you know, I was raised in at that point in a Christian household. You know what I'm saying? So all what I knew about the streets at this point, to be perfectly honest, even though my family, you know, ain't no rich people, you know, really, but like far as being sheltered, like my mom, like was a for real believer in the Lord. Like
play that.
Yeah, huh?
She ain't play that.
Yeah, she ain't play that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we knew the hood. We used to go to the hood, like my aunties, we knew the street, but she wasn't hearing none of that. Like I used to have to hide my rap CDs. You know what I'm saying? I used to have to hide, sneak my music in. I had to sneak and watch BET. Like she was really into it. So, but when she died, my pops, he was in South Philly. You know, he was going through what he was going through. So now imagine my mom passed, my pops, he's in a depressive mode. I'm back in Philly. All my family members, my big cousin, Murder, Grizz, Corey Domino, they all in the streets. So I began to be raised by the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So all the Christianity at that point went out the door because I didn't have no Christian family. You know, all my friends in Philly is Muslims. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to all them, you know what I'm saying, all my people, all my Muslim brothers and stuff like that. But so Christianity was out the door. And that's when I jumped off the porch and get in the streets. I wasn't able to do too much because of Corey and Dom. They were so overprotective over me. But I jumped off the porch and started learning the streets, watching them and stuff like that. So it really started in Philly. And I took what I learned in Philly and I moved back down south, and it was a go from that point on.
So so you jumped off the porch. Listen, I don't know what these terms mean. I'm using context clues. So you jumped off the porch when you was here. You went back to Texas. I read a post, right, from you early on. I don't know if you remember what you posted it. It was either this year or last year, but it was in a blog you had started. And you were talking about how your mother's death affected you and it made you be in the streets, and then you started battling with drugs as well.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about that and like the mind state of that? Because I know it's a lot of young guys out there that have issues just like that as well, and just like letting the outside world understand the mindset of that.
Being raised, I never seen my dad cry until my mom passed. And I'm about to get to the drugs. I just got to break it down to you.
Go ahead. You got it all the time.
I never seen a man cry. Yeah. So I feel like it's important because in our communities, and not even just our communities, this crosses over. Being raised the way we was raised, a lot of men is taught not to cry, not to show our emotions.
Right.
And that's what happened to me. So I held it in. I cried when she died that day, and that was it. It was months before I cried again. So what happened is it came out in anger. It came out in rage. And then I found, drugs and alcohol. First it was weed and alcohol. So that's how I'm taking care of it. So eventually, like I said, I jumped off the porch and I went to Texas, and I hit the streets, and I had a show, and I got and the show got canceled. Long story short, I ended up catching a robbery charge, my first charge, so I got it down. I ended up getting on papers, and I ended up starting. Long story short, I ended up started experimenting with drugs. First, it was ecstasy, Xanax, and then it went to cocaine and PCP. That's how I was dealing with it, like with my pain. You know what I'm saying? Like numbing it. I numbed it, and then like, you know, what you talking about, that post is all. I got a blog called the Break 'Em Off blog. It's talking about breaking the chains of addiction, and you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it went from being recreational to like, it was everything. Like that cocaine messed up my life, man. It messed up my life to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Rick James said cocaine is a hell of a drug. He wasn't lying. Like for real, it is, because it'll have you thinking. I remember times, man, when I would get my rent money, I would get paid, and then I say just spend $50 that I say, dang, I was supposed to spend. The cocaine will say, dang, even though that's only $50, but the cocaine said, dang, you spent too much. You need to make that money back. So I will go gamble another $50. Now I'm $100 short. So now I'm saying, well, shoot, I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of scratch offs. I'm gonna go rob somebody, and then next thing you know, long story short, by the end of the night, I done spent my whole check. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say it was all due to my mom, but my mom's death is the root issue of it, because I didn't know how to talk. I didn't see no counseling. I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't want to talk to my pops because he was going through. I didn't want to bring it to him. Certain family members, like, they will be like, toughen up. Stop crying about it. Toughen up. That didn't help me. So, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm around dudes in the streets. Like, it was normal down here. Like, you know what I'm saying? In my neighborhood, the hustlers, the dudes getting money was snorting coke. For me, it messed me up. So, you know, yeah, man, the drug addiction, man, it's a wicked thing, man, and I thank God for deliverance, but like it sent me down a downward spiral, bro. Like, real talk, messing up my career and everything, all behind drugs.
And you and I'm gonna make sure we touch on it, because we gonna touch on the other stuff because it's more important. But even with your rap career, I don't think people know the emphasis of it, so I'm gonna explain it. Like, you had like legit deals with like real rap, like from David Banner. I forgot the other big names, but talk about that, like how you really had some stuff on the table, but because of what you was going through, you took it off.
Yeah, man, listen, I signed with an independent label down here, and that's what kind of took me off. You know what I'm saying? I was doing music with a group called DSR. They heroes down here in Texas and in the South. I had different deals on the line, bro. One of them, they turned me down because I was flamed up, you know what I'm saying? I was banging blood. But a lot of deals came on the table, and they didn't want to sign me because I was always in jail when they called. You know, a lot of people don't realize the majors, to see, you know, they want a made up street guy. They don't want, like, it's different if you sign to a street dude like 50 Cent or whoever, because they in the streets, they understand. But the Universals and all that, like, you see what happened when 50 Cent got shot, the label dropped him.
Yeah, nobody want to touch him after that.
Yeah, because you playing with their investment.
Right.
So every time labels will call, because I was getting radio play. I had one Battle at Home Jams. Greg Street was down here at the time. And it was starting to take off. You know, doing opening up, because my label was cool with rap a lot. So I was Twisted Black. A lot of y'all know who Twisted Black. Him and Scarface had a song. We had to connect with them. And I'm opening up for Scarface. Got footage with Scarface. I'm talking about, I'm in the studio. A lot of people from Texas and Houston know 7303. I'm like rubbing shoulders. But my street life, like, we would be in the club thugging. Like, I didn't want to be inside the VIP. I'm on the floor. And you know, on the floor, you juried up. They see you rapping. Oh, yeah, they want to try it now. We got to show what we about.
Right.
And in the long run, it really hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Because now every time the labels call, hey, where this guy at? Oh, he in jail. He'll be out in a couple of days. Well, they didn't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Had the table deal on the line with Banner of well, it was more of my old manager who worked for Jive when Jive was still a label.
Okay.
He was my manager. He was managing me. He became an A&R because Banner was supposed to start a label or something. I think it was called Big Face. And that was on the table. But that's when I ended up coming to Christ. So it was real big. Like, people don't realize, like, I don't feel no type of way. I got people who come and say to me, like, D-Lou, you was supposed to be this. Like, I turned, at first I lost a lot of deals, but it's the last, on the back end, on the end, I turned them down, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I basically turned them down. I even was, got cool on a couple occasions with Gilly, you know what I'm saying? I happened to be in the studio with Gilly. If he's seeing this, if he ever see this, he'll remember me because he used to call me Texas. It was at Rug Old Studio. My pops had reached out to him. He was like, he gonna the second time, and he was like, if you want to get with me, I'm the boss. But yeah, I had plenty of opportunities, bro. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right, so it's two things you touched on, and how you talk about them is on you. I don't want to incriminate nobody. I don't know what's that. So you talked about banging and being with your group. I don't want to name that. And jail. So talk about that in jail. Go into it how you go into it.
Oh yeah, I always call myself trying to be a blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, before Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's back even before, like, when Krypton still was real big. And what happened is my god brother, he was banging B, he was banging blood. So quite naturally, I looked up to him. So I ended up following behind him. But what happened is, when I came back from Philly to Texas, I moved to North Dallas, and I moved to a blood area, BHB, Bounty Hunter area. You know what I'm saying? Blood. Hamilton Park, Stokes Road, Hamilton Park, cross the street, Stokes Road. So I happened to move into a blood area. So I basically, I took the a lot of times it wasn't no getting jumped. A lot of times you was already guilty by association or by where you was from. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how they do it in, like, Texas. You could have a clique of dudes that one Crip, one blood. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little different in Texas, but I basically moved to an area. Before then, I wasn't no real blood. I really wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I just put the colors on because my big kinfolk was. Right. A whole bunch of that was blood. Some of them was Crips, but I had moved to an area that was bloody. You know what I'm saying? And from then on, I started banging. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's basically what it is, man. It was like, can't say too much, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why I said let you go.
I started wearing my bandanas, and I got people to this day. They be like, man, I remember you used to be flamed up, and that's what stopped me from getting a record deal. Honestly, there was a one record label that wanted to sign me. I'm flamed up, throwing up bees, and they seen the picture. They was like, oh no, we don't want to sign no problem. We don't want to sign no gang member. You know what I'm saying? So I put in work. I will say that I put in a lot of work. I was hitting licks, robbing. I was just doing my thing. I was young, bro. I was 17, 18, 19. I was putting in work. I would say that it was a phase for me. Okay. My dad told me one thing, and I didn't understand it at the time, but now I understand. He said one day, you ain't that ain't who you is. You ain't no thug. I thought he was calling me a punk. Right. And I remember pushing him out my way, and he punched me so hard I flew across the room. And you know my pops, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to hear none of that. And I didn't understand that. I'm like, how you gonna call me a punk? So I lived my life in the streets trying to prove him that I was him, because he used to be a thug. I try to be like Corey and Dom. You know what I'm saying? And I never realized, Dom and Corey got another cousin named Mar. They would let him do stuff, but they wouldn't let me do. And I was like, what, everybody think I'm a punk? Now I understand what my dad was saying and why Corey and Dom didn't let me do the stuff that they let their other cousin, who's the same age me, do. Because my dad was right. That wasn't me. He wasn't calling me a punk. He was like, you're greater than that. God has made you to do other things. And now that I realize it, see, I'm gonna explain something to the youngsters. You can do something and be good at it, but that don't necessarily mean that's who you are. I did the streets well, bro. I did them well, but that wasn't me. There's a difference between my partner who locked up. I don't want to say his name. He from HP. He was selling dope for his pops while he was still in elementary, middle school. See, that's the difference between somebody who was born in it and like as 10 years old, your dad say, hey, go drop this up the street, get the money. You can't tell him, no, that's your dad.
Right.
I chose the streets. See, that's the difference. He did it. I don't want to say that's who he was. I don't want to put that because we all can be greater than that. You feel what I'm saying? But in essence, he had no choice. See, me, I did it, but wasn't who I was. I was just going through the motions, trying to prove people I wasn't a punk and all this type of stuff like that. So when I tell youngsters, you can do something, you can be good at it. You could be a good dope dealer. You could be a good robber. But in essence, that's not who you was raised to be. That's not who you was. I don't know if you've seen the movie Blue Hill Avenue. Blue Hill Avenue, the main dude, Kirsten, whatever his name is, his pop said, man, why you doing this? You come from a good child, a good home. You could have went to school, did anything. He said, because I'm good at it. And I was like, whoa, that's real. Because I didn't have to choose this life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to choose that life. It's just that me going to the worst neighborhoods and people respecting me. People respecting me because, you know what I'm saying, who I hung with and when all this type of stuff. And realizing I'm around killers and I can hang with these dudes and put in my work. And then like, oh yeah, that went to my head, bro. It went to my head, you know what I'm saying? And then now that I'm back to who I'm called to be, I realized, man, that wasn't even me. Because there was certain stuff that people would do and laugh at that I didn't find funny. Right. You know what I'm saying? I knew when to go home. I knew when to, nah, man, let's not do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it really wasn't me. You know what I'm saying?
So you talked about being
so like that whole street life, man. I think it was more of a fascination, fun. You know what I'm saying? I was fascinated and it was fun. You know what I'm saying? The music because we even in Philly, we was in Upper Derby. You know what I'm saying? So everything that I heard, like that was in Logantown and North Philly and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Right. So it was like I used to come visit y'all and come visit certain people who lived in the hood. It was like, okay. And then I was able to go back to Upper Derby.
Right.
So it's a difference from somebody who's just a family member that got to visit. Like for people in the hood and raised by the streets, that's normal life. But when you got somebody who on the other side of town, they fascinated by it. You know what I'm saying? I was fascinated by boys in the hood. So once I went to the hood and actually was there, other guys, it was like, man, this is our life. For me, I'm like, man, I can't believe. Imagine some kid. Yeah, like I'm in the movie and I'm playing a role. And not only I'm not being punked, I'm out here doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh yeah, I'm loving it. And that's kind of what started my rap career too, bro. I remember my OG, he was like, man, he tried so hard to straighten me away from it and to say, hey, focus on the music. I'm talking about, bro, you know this, you seen what was going on. Like, I was the next up in Dallas. Like, let's be real. Like, me and now I'm not the only one, but everybody just knew that I was gonna be that guy.
But you was around like the little flip era, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was that guy, but what people didn't know behind the scenes is I was so busy trying to be in the streets. I didn't want to go. It came a point where I didn't want to go out of town to do shows or go to meetings because I'm on the block. Like, for what? I didn't have to hustle. I didn't have to rhyme. You know what I mean? Like, I'm robbing and hustling, and my rent is paid up because my CEO paid my rent up. I'm just doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Foolishness.
So talk about your stints in jail and what it did to you mentally as well, because I know that you got in there and like jail ain't a place for no man. Like I wouldn't wish jail, and I haven't been, but I know like I hear stories on how it affects people. So talk about your stints and what it did to you and how it played a part in your life. Uh-oh. You can hear me?
Well, jail, I was I basically in a 3-year period, I was only out 6 months of it. I did the 14, so I was in there. And then I went and did another 6 months. So it was crazy. What jail did was at first, initially, it got me deeper in the gang stuff on the cool, you know what I'm saying? What it did teach me, it taught me that, I don't want to quote this guy, man. I really don't want to quote this, but I'm finna say this, and y'all forgive me. But Troy Ave even said it, been saying it lately, the streets are a myth. Now, I don't agree why he's saying it. I ain't gonna just be on that man. I felt like that he got himself in a situation but I understand what he's saying, because when I got to jail and all this gang and all that type of stuff, it all went down the drain. I had to depend on my pops and my wife and my sister. You know what I'm saying? It didn't. I'm gonna be real with you. I had fun in jail. like people look at me crazy when I say that, but if you don't have fun, you're gonna be in there stressing and stuff like that. But one thing what jail did is the reason why I came to the Lord. Not the first time, the last time I went. I had a month before I got out, and I picked up a book. You know what I'm saying? And before I got done with the book, I ended up getting on my knees and praying to God. And that's when I turned down deals. Like, I was going to be a signed artist, signed to the major. And I ended up reading that book, and I was like, man, I don't want to do it no more. You know what I'm saying? And because really, jail didn't really because I didn't do enough time for it really to mess with me like that. You know what I'm saying? I did enough. I did 14 months, came out, stayed out 3, did another 6 months, came out, stayed out 3, went back for another 6 months. So I basically spent that time in jail, came home to say hi, and went back up in there. But it really just drove me to God, man, because, God dealt with me there. He was able to meet me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the streets. I didn't have drugs. So in essence, jail helped me. It don't help everybody. Like, they think jail helps everybody. It really doesn't. It makes people worse. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're getting treated like a dog. You're being treated like an animal. It's like, jail ain't, like they say, it's to make people better, but it really didn't. But me personally, it made me better. It drove, because I needed all the distractions out of my face. You know what I'm saying? I had the rap game, trying to do this, because it was times that I wanted to come back to God, but I couldn't. It was like, you know what I'm saying? I was so embedded in the streets and my music, addicted to drugs. It was hard. So me going to jail, it really helped me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And the only reason why you saying it was fun, because I want the kids to become misconstrued about that. It's
No.
He was gangbanging and stuff, so that, but it wasn't the right thing.
Yeah, it was. But let me tell you that something with this. You get more time doing that. They was actually going to give me more time, because I was rolling with the set and doing stuff in there that I wasn't supposed to be doing. And by the grace of God, he looked out for me. The Lord really, truly looked out for me. And so, because I was with the set and everything like that. But nah, man, I don't want them to think it's like, nah, because there's people up in there, you know what I'm saying, who not getting out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people up in there. Even for me, when I was up in there, man, I remember nights of crying because I couldn't see my kid. Listen, let me tell them the bad part, man. All my kids I got 5 kids, bro. 5 kids. I only seen one of my kids seeing her first voice, seeing her first steps. The rest of my kids, I missed the first steps. I missed the first words because I was in jail. You know what I'm saying? I was in jail, and I remember my wife coming to the visitation with my son when he was a baby. Every time I tried to pick him up, he cried because he didn't know me. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? So it definitely ain't fun. For me, I was rolling around. I was ignorant and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right, so we got all the bad stuff out the way. So you start to make the transition. Talk a little bit more about your transition. I know it wasn't easy. I'm sure you had some slip-ups, some fallbacks, and you had to keep recorrecting yourself along the way, because it takes a while before that like to remove something new, old, you got to put something new, but it's still that old battle with you, and it drag you back in sometimes. So talk more about the transition from the life into the life of Christ.
Oh man, I was at the bump. I was at my bump, and I didn't choose God, the Lord, because I was in jail. I was getting ready to get out. I was a gang member, you know what I'm saying? So I'm protected by my set, even though I didn't need the set, you know what I'm saying? I was good with my hands or whatever. But I'm good, you know what I'm saying? Everything is going good for me, you feel me? I'm getting ready to get out, grind, and get signed. Like, it was like everything was good on that side. But I started reading that book, and I just remember what my mom instilled in me as a young age, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I was just reading it, and what we call God, the Holy Spirit, in Christianity, you know, the Holy Spirit met me, and I gave my life to Christ right then. I called my pops. I was like, man, I don't want to do that gangster rap no more. I'm giving my life to God. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of coming to jail. I'm tired of being high on drugs. Now it ain't been easy. I failed more than I like to admit. Matter of fact, I went back to that time when I was in Philly, got the truck shot at. I had got saved 2 years before then. So I kept slipping, but the Bible says a righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets up. You see what I'm saying? Like, we fall. You know what I'm saying? The Lord knows we're going to fall before we fall. I want people to know that if you fall, just get back up, because it's not an easy walk. Christianity, it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Like, because in essence, my flesh likes to drink. You know what I'm saying? My flesh wants to go and kick it with my homeboys and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's why the Bible tells us to die daily. You know what I'm saying? We must die daily. What does that mean? I wake up in the morning and I have to get on my face and pray to God and it's almost like recommitting yourself to God, telling yourself again, I don't want to do this. I don't want to live this life, because it's not easy. And you don't have to fall. You don't have to go back to drugs. My story, I did. I had some issues that was never taken care of. But as I said before, and I want to reiterate this, you know, a righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets back up 8 or 7, whatever. And so that basically saying that it's not how many times you fall. God looks at the times, how many times you get up. Because I can fall and stay there. You know what I'm saying? And be okay with it. But like, you know what? I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to always be a drug head. I'm going to always be a hustler, selling crack to the communities. I'm going to always be like that. You know what I'm saying? But me, I respect the person. See, it's funny how people will make fun of you, even some people in church. They will talk about you, say, he keep falling, he keeps slipping, he keep going back. And then next thing you know, he's saying that he want to preach again. I respect that man. You see what I'm saying? I respect that man, because at least he's trying. You have nothing to say about somebody who's trying, because there's a lot of people who don't even try. You know what I'm saying? Don't like, you know, there's a difference if somebody's just playing around with it, you know what I'm saying, just doing stuff. But if you genuinely see me trying, you know what I'm saying, you have nothing to say. Unless you come in and try, you come and help somebody, you know what I'm saying? Keep your mouth off people, you know what I'm saying? Because Jesus said that we must forgive, he's going to forgive us 77 times 7. That means, if you come and say, forgive me, Lord, I'm going to forgive you. If you're going to fall again, you're going to say, Lord, forgive me, and he's going to forgive, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm on.
Man, that's powerful. You had a lot of powerful stuff in there just now, man. I hope nobody missed that. As far as therapy or anything like that? You ever think about going there, or is it your relationship with God? That's your therapy in itself. Like, how do you do that?
I'm doing things now. Even, and that's the funny thing is I'm a minister, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's something called Celebrate Recovery. And I do want to go to therapy. I don't want nobody to think there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Even a lot of people in the church, they feel like you still can go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like God puts people and give them wisdom and knowledge to place those things in a place. But I'm going to something called Celebrate Recovery. It's like the Christian version of NAAA. It's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Because even now, I have deep-rooted issues. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, I feel like, you know, sometimes we even believers, the people in the body of Christ, they say, well, I'm not going to take no medicine. I know God can heal things, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like God made the mind for the person to say, hey, let me make aspirin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All good things come from heaven, from the Father of lights, is what the Bible tells us. You feel what I'm saying? All good things. I think aspirin is a good thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think BC powder is a good thing.
Right.
Maybe come up with that. God gave him that thought. So just like, man, I feel like he placed people who can talk, counselors and therapists and stuff like that. It's funny you say that, because I was just talking to my wife. I was like, listen, even now, things are going good with me. You know what I'm saying? Clean the drugs, clean the alcohol, happy, joyful. I was even telling her, I was like, hey, I want to go see a therapist, a counselor, so I could be proactive and stuff like that, and make sure, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with it in my opinion.
No, you preaching to the choir, because I never been to therapy before, and I was going through a lot of anger management, all of that stuff, and I did a lot of self-healing with reading and analyzing and just fixing it on my own, doing a lot of self-care. And now I'm in therapy this year, and it's like you said, I didn't want to seem like I was a smart aleck and I knew it all and stuff. I'm like, let me go and see and make sure that I know what's going on and fixing everything inside and make sure I'm covering all my bases at the same time.
Yeah.
So I get exactly where you're coming from. So this is a mental health podcast. What is your opinion, perspective, viewpoint on mental health in the Black community?
It needs to be addressed more, bro. This is a perfect example. When I was 18, they prescribed me a manic depression, and they said I had some symptoms of bipolar, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't believe in that stuff. I'm like, man, you got me messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I was 18, like, I didn't even know what that stuff was. You feel what I'm saying? And I thought, like, nah, my mom's just passed. Now that I realize it, I had depression problems. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is real. I used to walk around, just be depressed for nothing, punching holes in walls and stuff like that. I feel like we need to address it more. You know what I'm saying? In the Black community, it seems like we brush stuff, like that's how we was, like I said it earlier, and I really feel like that, you know, we are taught like as young Black men at the age of, as soon as we can remember, as far back as we can remember, not to cry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't cry. Don't be mad. I let my sons cry at times. Now, sometimes I'm like, all right, now you're doing a little bit too much. But I let them show their emotion. I feel like, you know, even with the suicide, you know what I'm saying? Somebody just posted this, man, or somebody just said this, and I seen it. And it said that, saying that Black people don't kill themselves. Something like that, don't commit suicide. That's not true. The statistics is that I forgot what the number was, I don't want to misquote, that we kill ourselves, we commit suicide more than what we are like to admit. So I say that back to the mental health issue. Like, you know what I'm saying? The only time Black folks really want to, and I'm saying this because I'm Black, I can say this, is when to acknowledge that stuff is when we want to get a check from the government. You know what I'm saying? That ain't cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we really need to start facing these issues. We really need to start getting, stop. I don't know what it is. It's something inside of us to make it seem weak and stuff like that. But it's some things that we need. I feel like a special help in with special people that God put in place. You see what I'm saying? You know, even far as the depression issues and stuff like that, you got a lot of folks who get on these medicines, get these kids on these medicines, but they only doing it from a check. They not really realizing or believing, or may not believe that they child. Now we know some stuff that's going on that ain't right.
Right.
How far as that goes, I don't know if I can say this. If not, you can edit it out. Trying to prescribe us with stuff today. You know what I'm saying? We know that, but I think it's up to us. It's up to us to know our children and know ourselves, and to really try to seek help and get this thing in the grips. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's my opinion on it, because I use myself for example. Like, man, for all these years, like, I never believed that I had depression problems. I never believed that I was a manic depression. I never believed that. I didn't know what it was. I didn't believe in it. And it takes now, that's when I was 18. I'm 32 now, man. And I really realized, dang, I did have an issue. Now, what happened if I would acknowledge that issue way back then? Would I have went to jail many times? Would I have been abusive? Would I almost have a drug? I almost died behind drugs. Well, all that have happened if I would have addressed that issue. I don't think it would have. You know what I'm saying? I swept it under the rug like what we do. And then next thing you know, I became addicted to drugs. This is really tearing up. I feel like it messes up our community, bro. It messes up our community because we just sweep stuff under the rug. You know what I mean?
And I want to make sure before we go and get off of here that what you got going on now, you got a lot moving right now. And that's one of the reasons why I was like, I got to get his story out there, man, and to help with the promotion of what you and your wife is doing. Like, we talked about the jail, we talked about everything, but you're doing a lot of positive now, even going around feeding the homeless and talking to the people. Yeah. Just talk about everything you got positive going on now.
Right now, me and my wife, December 18th, we got a radio show called Locked In Radio, and that's for marriage. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get the marriage thing together. There's too many divorce rates. Like in these times, my mom and dad was married all the way till she died. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like me being young with tattoos and all this, it would be a good thing for us to show the world that yes, it is some folks who still believe in marriage. And me and my wife been together for going on 12 years. You know what I'm saying? So Locked In Radio, that's gonna be on KEBN.com. 7 p.m. down south time, so it'll be 8 p.m. your time. That's on KEBN.com.
That's gonna be in the bio. Don't worry, you ain't gotta worry about it.
So that's Locked In Radio. That's for marriage. I got the Break 'em Off blog. That's for drug addiction. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that you say that, because we even gonna be talking about mental illness and all that type of stuff. And that's the Break 'em Off blog. Those are the two main things that I'm rolling with right now. I kind of got my music. I'm doing music for fun. You know what I'm saying? Because I love it from the art. You know, you already know how they go. I just love music. But right now, I feel like God has opened doors. I'm a minister, and the heart of a minister is wherever he see fruit growing and seeing God working in his life, that's the way I'm going to go. I feel like we have a lot of people flooding our inbox with their marital problems, and God is using me and my wife. So we running with that. I got a lot of people flooding my inbox, like saying that my testimony about my drug addiction is the reason why they went going to rehab. So I'm running with that. So I got the Break 'em Off blog, Locked In Radio, Men of Growth. Men of Growth, that's basically for brothers who's been broken. Like that's for Men of Growth is you could say a discipleship, mentorship program for guys who coming off of drug addiction, who's been abusive, who has mental health issues and stuff. And basically what that is we go out into the communities, feed the homeless. We're going to be doing that, and also mentoring and helping people who really want to change their life, because change starts with ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I can preach the gospel all I want, but until you want to change it, to the Holy Spirit prick your heart to change, I can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what it is. And yeah, that's what they do.
Man, and on that note, man, like he said, he's doing a lot of work he's he's been in the shoes of a lot of many people, from abusive to drug to jail to being gangbanging to everything. So he has a lot of experience to you guys, young men out here that who I primarily want to reach and make sure that they hear certain things. Like, I know every man not gonna go to therapy. I know that for a fact. But
Yeah,
this
of course.
platform is to break it down and for everybody to see. Like, it's a lot of things we got building up, and it's okay. You find a way to get it out.
Yeah.
It don't always manifest as anger.
Yeah.
So, follow him on social media. I'll put his links and all of that stuff down below. And is there any parting words you want to say to anybody out there from your story? Like, what you expect, you want them to gain from it?
Yeah, I'm glad that you. First of all, I'm glad that you got this for men, because that's my heart. My heart is for brothers. You know what I'm saying, young men. My thing is, you know, my links will be down there. Hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like, first and foremost, I want to say Jesus loves you. You know what I'm saying? I cannot leave without saying that. And, you know, there's hope, man. There's hope. There's hope. There's hope. As you said, a lot of them won't go to therapy and stuff like that. One of the main things I want to say is get around some positive, in my preference, some men of God, some positive brothers, because people don't realize spirits. I don't want to go too far into it. I know we finna log off, but that stuff jumps off on you. You around negative spirits and stuff like that, it's gonna jump off on you, bro. Like, so get around some positive energy. You know what I'm saying? Get around some positive brothers, some brothers that's doing something, some brothers that's either going the same direction you want to go or even above. You become what you are around. This is a fact. You know what I'm saying? This is not just the saying if you hang in the barbershop long enough to get a cut. Even though that's true, get around some positive brothers that's going to pour into your life. You know what I'm saying? Me being a minister, a man of God, and of Christianity, I'm gonna give you Jesus and I'm gonna give you all that. But at the same time, I feel like that's basically it. That's what I wanted to say. You know, there's hope, but there's nothing weak about reaching out. Actually, that shows your strength, showing that you need help. That's strong, brother. That is strong. That is strong on so many levels. It takes a lot for a grown man to reach out to another man and say, hey, man, I'm weak in this area. I need some help. That's growth. That's growth right there. That's not weak. And I feel like that needs to be said, because so many people believe that if they say, hey, man, I need some help. Hey, I need help with drug addiction. Hey, I have a problem going on. They feel like that's weak. Nah, that's strength, man. And once you speak those words and once you take those steps, that's when growth and that's when change begins to take place. But it won't take place until you admit it and take the steps and reaching out and getting some help.
Hey, man, you said it, but your words, my spirit. You said it better than I could have probably got it off. And on that note, I want to thank everybody for listening. Follow, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff to help us keep building both our platforms. Because trust me, we're gonna cross paths one day. You're gonna see me on his stuff. You're gonna probably see him on my stuff. And remember that this platform has never been about a replacement to therapy. It's an alternative, and it's a place where people share therapeutic stories. Thank you for listening.